should have known better. At 41 or 40 or 30 something, I might be wrong with this one, but I would assume that at, mid 30, end of the 30s, early 40s, like 39, 40, and you're actually 41 now, or maybe she turned 41 now, whoever, whatever. I would have thought some things about life are going to be very clear. I have so much understanding, okay, not so much. I have understanding for younger people who just don't have enough life experience, maybe not the guidance around them. When you're young, and to me, it depends on what we're talking about because we always hear, oh, I was young and dumb, I was young and dumb. It always depends. But let's pretend 17, 18, 19, young. I'll even give, to be honest, I'll even give when they grow up without guidance, right? 22, 23, 24. Okay, no, I'm taking away the 24. I would definitely go up to 21, being like, we see why you made a mistake, or we see why you were naive, or we see why you just didn't, think ahead. But 40? Now, anyway, guys, you're thinking, why are you just going off for no reason? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Talk Podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. We will be reacting not to a YouTube channel that I've been watching lately more and more. Very interesting take, genuine and honest commenting, I would say. So I really appreciate it. And today it's about a woman who is now pregnant for the first time. Congratulations. But I think she's not too happy about it. She's 41 and now has to face all of it alone. She's not married. The man has nothing to do with her or doesn't want anything to do with her. Not even to talk about having to do anything with the kid. So yeah, it's going to be a mess. And remember, we are not here to make fun of anyone. We want to find something to learn. And I'm sure if people listen in carefully to more and more of these kinds of stories, we will not be repeating the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And for those sensitive ones out there who think, oh my God, are you trying to say your child is a mistake? No. The child itself is not even fault. The child has nothing to do with this, right? It's the way we adults are making choices that are actually going to backfire on that innocent child, that child who's exactly a blessing, who came to this world not knowing anything, and now we're making it harder for that child. So that is the issue.
Repeated over and over and over again how bad he wanted us to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to have a baby.
And I need to be honest, I've looked into it for like 2, 3 minutes. I've learned about her age and I was surprised because she looks so beautiful. Not saying that 41-year-old women don't look beautiful. Oh my God, let's start afresh. She looks so much younger than her age and very pretty.
How bad he wanted me to get pregnant. And then I get pregnant and he's like, no, poor baby. I don't want this life for my baby. And you know what? I'm 41. I don't have any children. This is my first child.
No. No, 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 no.
6 weeks and 3 days pregnant. And my child's father, all within a day of finding out that I was pregnant, that I may have an ectopic pregnancy, going to the emergency rooms, spending hours and hours and hours getting poked and prodded.
Wow.
To find out that my baby's okay and in my uterus where they should be, and my hormone levels are where they should be. So, and within a day of finding all that out, the father of my child said he doesn't want this. He doesn't think this is a good idea, and he wants me to not keep the baby. Let me be very clear that my child's father.
Let me just pause real quick. Um, of course, I've heard stories like this. I know of women who would choose to do this to abort a baby. I've heard of men who would advise their woman or the woman they're with at the moment to abort a baby. But to me, it is so evil. It is so evil. It's disgusting. The thought itself is so disgusting, especially after you implanted that child, telling her you want it, you want it, you want it. We're gonna get to her. We're gonna get to her. But and then standing there and just looking at someone and saying, I want you to unalive that child. I want you to abort that child. Like just delete it, like you're deleting some kind of stupid file from your computer. And mind you, the stupid file from your computer, you can always get it back. That baby you're not gonna get back. How stupid are people to stand there, open your stinky mouth and say, yeah, I don't want you to keep it. Okay, what's gonna happen with the baby? Really? Is this how we are?
Father was very aware of what was going on. This wasn't like nobody was trapped. Nobody was. He repeated over and over and over again how bad he wanted us to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to get pregnant. And then I get pregnant, and he's like, no.
Yeah, we're going to get back into the video and let it keep playing, but it's 2025. This is nothing but a repeat rerun. This is nothing but daytime TV brought to you by social media now.
Yes. This is a repeat. We've heard the story so many times. And I will be real. We're going to hold her accountable for the choices, of course, but I think we need to hold men accountable in this case as well. These are two people who created life. That's what I'm talking about.
Where people come to the internet, share their business, tell you their stories, what's going on in their life. And it sounds very similar to the stories or the situations that used to go on in daytime TV when it was very popular in the 90s, early 2000s, because this is nothing but a rerun. Talk about their selection in men. I truly believe women do not need to be left to their own devices when it comes to selecting a man. It needs to be some man in their corner, preferably their father, if not a strong father figure, uncle, brother.
Well, this is a woman in her 40s. She's definitely going to make her own choices. I do agree and accept and respect the fact that it's always good to have people in your circles who love you, who care for you, who want the best for you, who are going to help you during the vetting process, right? There should be people you can go to and say, hey, this is the kind of person I'm dating, this and this, or just have a standard. Like when you grow up, you have a standard, and if it's a positive standard, you most likely take it onto your own life. So that's unfortunately missing. But I think even if, right, she had her dad giving her advice, who knows what she would have made out of that.
Others, cousins, some male figure who doesn't have a betting interest in seeing her remain single. He can be neutral and can look at the guy objectively in order to help her make the right decision. Because when women are left to their own devices and choose men based on the emotions of the moment, many times we've seen that they clearly consistently choose wrong. And that used to be something that was much more common, where a daughter knew she couldn't even think about dating a guy, let alone sleeping with him, until the father was able to check him out.
Yeah, like in my mind, there used to be, I'm not that old yet, but there used to be times where I would, just general understanding of your aunts telling you, watch out about this, watch out about that. Your mom's giving you advice, your dad's educating you on certain things. Like there was an idea or sense that we just knew what is wrong and what is right. Okay. I grew up learning that no guy's gonna look at you and tell you, I want you to get pregnant and then we're gonna have a baby. That doesn't like no, I want you to get pregnant, we're gonna have a baby, and that's gonna make us stay together. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense if you just met that guy 3, 4, 5 months ago. It doesn't make sense. All these things, or how to go about it, how to, protect yourself as a woman. All these things were taught. They used to teach us all these things. What happened?
Because he had to make sure he could pass the dad's test, the brothers, the uncles, the men of her family. He had to make sure he could pass their test before he was able to even get access to getting to know the daughter. And it's not to say that every woman chooses wrong. I don't think that either, but I think far more times than not that they end up choosing incorrectly. And I also think others get lucky. And then I think there's a small percentage who actually know what the hell they're doing and were raised in such a way where they know how to look for the correct characteristics in a man.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I would agree. It's not that many people. Look at how many human beings are on this planet, okay? The idea that all of us grew up in the perfect household, well, perfect, delete that, in a great household where mom and dad is present, where they're involved, where they guide you, they teach you, they lead you, they set boundaries, they protect you. All this and more is not a thing for the vast majority. And I would want us to be talking more about things like this so we can actually go back to making this more of like to grow this more into the majority where people from jump just have a good understanding of what it takes or what it means to be in a good relationship to create good households. No one is perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, but when there are certain mistakes, like big ones, they're shouting, they're red, screaming, don't do it, don't do it, please don't let us do it.
And know how to set the correct standards in order to make sure that they secure the correct kind of man. And so when you have a woman like this coming to the internet and she's talking about the father of her child doesn't want to be a father anymore. I mean, that sentence right there tells you everything you need to know. And in my head, logically, it sounds like, yeah, some guy who said he liked me and I liked him back wanted to have a baby. So I gave him one. No requirements as far as her needing to be a wife, no standards, no boundaries.
I will speak on that part towards the end. I think it's important for young women to internalize that men, okay, will tell you what they think you want to hear in the moment. They will tell you what they need to tell you to get what they want. It's a painful truth, but it is true. The same way we would present ourselves in a certain way to get a certain attraction or attention from a certain kind of man. Later on that, more on that later, but I'm not trying to say, okay, because we know that that's okay for men to do. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's completely wrong. It's bad. It's stupid. Okay? But it's good to know how they roll. Does that make sense?
As far as not giving a man access to your womb unless he wants to actually be a family and commit to you long term. But let's get back into this video, see what else she had to say.
And he told me, well, listen, you have to get rid of the baby because it actually, I'm married. When we got together, I was thought we were getting divorced. I had requested a divorce, things was done, I thought, but that didn't happen. And now
Wow. The story is taking a turn. Now, here I'm sitting thinking, we need to hold a man accountable. We need to hold a man accountable. But girl, you messed up so bad. You messed up so bad. Before we dig into this, I need to put out this question. I wonder what women like that actually think, right? Marriage or relationship, there are women out there who really think, I'm going to take a man away who's in an active relationship, right? So literally, he's cheating with you. Then you're going to become his new woman and things are going to go perfect? Really? How does that make sense? You're dealing with a man who's still married. He hasn't even taken the steps on his own to say, I will do the right thing. Whatever happened in the relationship, we don't know. But the next best thing, the most respectful way to go about this, the right way to go about this, the way to even make sure that you're on a safe place, not get into some drama, is for him to say, I'm choosing to leave. He didn't. You thought he would. He didn't. This is a married man. And you stuck around to a married man. A married man who's about to leave his wife, telling you that I want us to have a baby. That makes sense to you? Oh, wow.
I'm trying to work my marriage out. So you cannot have my baby.
Oh man, what did I just say? What did I just say?
Mm-mm-mm.
Men need to be involved when women make decisions.
I'm shocked. I don't even know what I was thinking. I thought she could be the one who we are going to find something different to learn. But no, it's the same. It's always the same people, different face. It's the same prototype, it's the same personality. How how are you coming to the end? Now, what do you want people to say? Feel bad for you? The thing about not only relationship commitment, I'm a big fan of that, but the next step, people who are married, okay, they're not just sharing love together, they are sharing their lives together, they're sharing their finance together, the home together. There is so much more. Perhaps they have their own kids. There is so much more. It's not just them, it's the external family drawn in, it's the years spent together, it's the ups and downs they've been like, and then the risk, the other side of, you don't want to be in your marriage anymore, it's going to cost you divorce. So now you, as an outsider, having a little fling with a married man, you don't know that married people can work on their marriage, go counseling, or even they don't work on it, or they don't go counseling. Don't you hear that they choose to stay together? What is your business? Oh my God, I'm so pissed. What is your business getting involved with a married man? Women like that, I don't feel sorry for you, because if you're smart, you would have thought to yourself, ooh, if he's doing this while he's married with me, what happens if we're actually together? You literally went out there and chose someone with low integrity. You yourself have low integrity by dealing with a married man. You don't care. These are the kind of women who are going to be like, women supporting women, women support. Where was your support towards that other woman while you're messing with her married man? Whatever's going on in their relationship, not your business. And now you're side chick. You literally signed up to be a side piece. And now we're shocked that he looks at you and says, I don't want the baby anymore. I'm so sorry. Forgive how this podcast episode started, because I was thinking, she didn't come up with this information up front saying I was dealing with a married man and now he doesn't want my baby anymore because he's trying to get back to his family. Now, him doing what he did is still wrong, but come on, girl.
As far as the men they choose to be with, gotta have a male figure in their life. Don't leave them to their own devices. Men, don't leave your daughter to her own devices to select a man.
He is a stupid fool as well. We don't know what kind of marriage life they're living. That's the point. But if there were to be, like, marriage vows, integrity, all that good stuff, then he broke his marriage vows as well. But that's not your business. It's not for you to figure that out. It's for them, the ones who are married, to work on that. Right? What he did is wrong. He's a cheater. He broke his vows. He lied to you. He played you. He played his wife. Everything valid and wrong. But yet you were the one who opened doors to entertain a man who's married. What is wrong with you?
You may
The fact that you knew he's married and he's willing to play with you is just, shouldn't that have been a big red flag?
raise her up right. You may teach her everything she needs to know. But when her emotions get heavily involved, if that guy says the right thing to her, it's a roll of the dice where she gonna fall for it. You got to instill in her from an early age. Listen, whatever guy you trying to talk to, I got to meet him first before you even think about taking him seriously. Ain't no way.
So now here we are. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to keep my stress levels down because one of the reasons they thought it was or wanted to rule
Your stress level hasn't even started. Your stress level hasn't started. At this point, I don't feel bad for you.
out it being ectopic pregnancy was because I was bleeding and still having a little bleeding issues. I'm trying to stay calm, keep the stress down so I don't harm my baby, but I'm just struggling because I'm trying to figure out why I needed this.
Now, I'm just going to come up with some kind of idea. I'm not saying that is what she was thinking, but because I've seen it so many times, this could have been a case like that. Because I'm really asking myself, what would it push you so far? There are women who are entertaining married men and they don't choose to get pregnant by them. right? Still wrong, but they don't choose to get pregnant by them. They don't go so far. They play with them, they do what they do, they get their little benefits, and they move on. You chose to get pregnant by them. What were you thinking? So now there is the other group of women who would intentionally, they know he's married, they know he's this kind of man, they know he's not in good for nothing, and they will choose to get pregnant by him. Because why? They're trying to get money out of it. They're trying to get him tied down to pay for some, child support, daycare, whatever. Trying to do that. But if you were really smart and you would do the math, you would see that, ooh, that tiny little money that you're trying to get from someone who perhaps has so much in his own life to deal with, it's not going to get you anywhere. You just signed up for even a worse setting of struggle, right? Because you might be thinking, oh, he's going to be paying this, paying that. No, that money's not going to go anywhere. You're just going to be wasting that money that was actually set for your child to try to cover the little life that you guys have and just struggle. That child is going to be struggling.
Why I needed to be trying to ask God, like,
Sorry, I need to add this one. Not only emotionally struggling, financially struggling, forgive that. Not only financially, that child is not going to have the same relationship as perhaps their peers in kindergarten. That child is just forced to start living a life where they're perhaps not even involved with their father. A child's going to grow up to be, worst case, a secret, lonely, no male figure, no father figure. And you are going to be stuck with trying to figure everything out on your own. Your whole world just turned upside down because you wanted to deal with a married man who wasn't divorced, who told you he's going to get divorced and he wants your baby. Nonsense.
why I needed to be bent and broken and snapped in this way.
Hmm.
I was minding my business, y'all.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. You were not minding your business. If you were minding your business, the moment you learned, because people can lie, so people lie. He could have been playing tricks on you, not wearing his wedding ring. Maybe you were not that smart enough to kind of try to find out something about him, whatever. But the moment you did learn that this man is a married man, what did you choose to do? Right?
That man was persistent
You
to
too.
even get a chance with me.
What that mean?
And we were damn near living together. And,
What that mean?
and then to say, and now
Where were you guys living together? I'm sure he was living at yours. He had his few clothes over there and you let him in. You guys were playing this relationship. Living together? Really, no. He was spending the night at your place and then he would go back home to his wife, who's living at his place.
my poor baby. Poor baby.
Oh, your poor
I
baby.
didn't want this life for my baby.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm 41. I don't have any children. This is my first child.
No.
All that young skin, all that pretty face, all these, looking so good. 41, you even kind of broke the norm, right? You could have got that for yourself with a man who actually wanted commitment with you. And now look,
No, 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 no. 41? 41. Nah, that's on you. You too old, too mature, too experienced in this world at this age of 41 for
thank you. Now we're getting there. So, as I started my episode saying, you should have known better. There's some small, tiny situations where we kind of like, close an eye, make excuse the situation, understand the situation, all that good stuff. But 40, 41, like the biggest issue was not the getting pregnant when I started, because that could have happened to a young woman. When she then added and said she knew about the pregnancy, now that is a part. That is for sure the part where I would say, and not the pregnancy, the marriage. I'm sorry, I'm twisting everything today. When she said she knew about him being married, talking about, I'm trying to get a divorce, I'm working on it, but you're not divorced, but you knew about it. With your age, that should have been something that you are going to say big no to, capital no, stay away. Now, if that was to be some young person, naive as we don't know how naive you can be, right? And you got into this weird situation, you were blinded by all the spoiling that he did. You found out later he's married, da 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 da, da, and you already, like, people would easily say, so bad for you. Oh my God, he played you, or you played yourself. But you know what? You're young. Like, I don't even know how to put it, but you guys get what I'm saying. But 40, 39, 38, 41, you should have known better. You should have known not to be messing with a married man, right? You should have known that. You don't do that. We don't do that. Before we finish this episode, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope still there was something to learn. Oh, the wind is kind of kicking the door. Um, let's put our cockroach brain to the side and put up our big brains, okay? Because this is something that I think women need to be more aware of, especially younger women. There used to be times where, your mom would put you to side, your aunt would put you to side, your older cousins would put you to side, and just, talk about things like this, right? Because men and women are different, and we go differently about things, and we are humans, and humans are selfish. Everyone most likely wants to get what they want to get first before they actually want to give you anything about it. That is always going to be a painful truth to life. Okay. Now, follow me along. As I said, it is important for young women, for women in general, to internalize that men are going to tell you whatever they need to tell you to make you feel good. Sometimes it's not even, this is an extreme example, the clip we just watched. Sometimes it's not even out of bad intent, okay? But yet you need to be aware of it. And other times, maybe even more than the first example, there are going to be men who have their own selfish intent, and they will tell you whatever they want to get what they need, okay? They might like you. What is liking someone? That can happen really easy. But to care for someone, to cherish someone, to want to protect someone, to value someone long term, those are different values, okay? Anyone can easily like you, especially when you both are just having fun. So I hope this message is making I hope this message is making sense. Okay, women should understand there is a difference with having fun with someone, entertaining someone, going out on dinner dates, this, that, and the third. In a man's brain, that may not mean anything. There are some men who have the means to just spend, and they like you, they want to have a good, pleasant time as well, go out with you on a dinner date, have this, this some dynamic that comes to it that both parties are going to enjoy. And some men want to do that. That does not mean that you, with your woman way of thinking, now start to, interpret on a hyper level what that could mean if that is not what he said that means. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. There are men that would go so far, they would spoil you with things that you cannot afford for yourself. They would give you the key to their home. But if he never said, hey, I am proposing to you, or I'm taking this on the next level, or, that actually may really not mean more than what he is just doing. And we need to be really honest that women go differently about life and things, and men go differently about life and things, okay? And it happens that we are in a situation and we start, interpreting, using our emotions, trying to make the play fitting to what we desire, but that's not what he's doing. So be clear, be mindful, be thoughtful and just don't force it for these kinds of plays, right? It will never ever make sense for you to deal with a man who's already in a relationship and thinking things are going to go better for you. It will never ever make sense thinking that a married man is going to leave his wife, risk paying half of what he owns on divorce because of you, and especially when he's not making the right approach towards you, but trying to tell you a baby is going to make it, which is just even more expense with all the blessings a baby is. But you get the gist. It will never make sense for you to tell yourself, even if it wasn't his idea, but to tell yourself that, oh, if I do get pregnant by him, then that's the way I'm going to secure this relationship. Then that's the way I'm going to get what I want. That will never, ever, ever make sense. So I hope I'm really clear on this. And at the same time, I want to make clear that that does not mean I'm sitting here saying, oh my God, that's a pass for men, lie to us, do what you want. We need to be true. How many times have we heard women would rather prefer the lie than facing the real truth? So you need to know who you are, and you need to know what kind of plays or games you're entertaining, right? Just be more mindful. That's the message. I'm not saying it's right for men to, tell you one thing and then do the other, the same way it's not right for women to tell you one thing and do the other. What's wrong is wrong. But I think if we were more honest to each other and talk about uncomfortable truth, we would be avoiding situations like this more and more, because you wouldn't go into a situation thinking, oh my God, it's all lovey dovey, but it's not. It may be not. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye.